Whether you're conservative or liberal, welcome to this week's episode of Once More with Feelings. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth.
And I just confused the living shit out of her.
Really did. We are a emotional journey podcast. We watch the movies, we talk about the movies, and we discuss how we feel about them and how they made us feel, and maybe the context of the world that we're in, how we apply that to the movie.
Yes, and this week we are talking about The Birdcage, the 1996 Mike Nichols movie. The Birdcage is a 1996 American comedy film produced and directed by Mike Nichols. Elaine May's screenplay adapted the 1978 French film La Cage aux Folles, itself an adaptation of a 1973 play.
It stars Robin Williams and Nathan Lane as a gay couple whose son, Dan Futterman, is set to marry the daughter, Callista Flockhart, of a conservative senator, Gene Hackman, and his wife, Diane Wiest. These are odd names because I recognize all of them. Mm-hmm. So these aren't fake names.
Nope.
No, it's weird. Hank Azaria and Christine Baranski. Is it Baranski? I keep wanting to put an N where there's not one. Appear in supporting roles. The film marked the first screen collaboration of Nichols and May, who have been a comedy duo in the 1950s and 60s.
Yeah, I found out that Mike Nichols was one of the founders of Second City Improv.
Yeah.
Which is pretty freaking amazing because I am a huge fan of Second City TV, and a lot of my favorite actors came from there. Back in the day. Maybe still now. I don't know if it's still a thing.
None of the people in this movie.
No, weirdly enough, none of them are Canadian?
None that I have seen in any way, but maybe there's some secret ones in there that I don't know about.
I don't know. I mean,
none of the primaries are from Second City.
Yeah, I don't know if Nathan... I don't think Nathan Lane is Canadian. Because that's Second City. No, Second City's not... Well, I don't know. Is it Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Canadian. Okay. Oh, yeah, because, Martin Short and
Canadian.
Rick Moranis. Yeah, okay. I'm just not with it, apparently.
It'd be easier if you just referred to it as SCTV.
SCTV. Well, it's like it's improv in the TV show. It's spun from the improv.
But if you think about it as SCTV, then you immediately recognize it's Canadian.
Well, I had to stop myself from saying SCTV because I knew that improv was not the TV show. But it spun from it, so I had to stop myself.
Yeah.
But Mike Nichols also is known for being, he was married to Diane Sawyer at the end of his life. And he did...
That's what killed him.
He did... I'm sorry, I have to pull this close again. He did Biloxi Blues.
Biloxi Blues?
Biloxi. Okay, well, see, there you go. I can't say things either. And Silkwood. He did Postcards from the Edge, and he did a movie, he directed a movie that Beth has an issue with for reasons, and I understand them, and I personally love, even though it is heartbreaking, and that is Regarding Henry.
Oh, my reasons is I don't get to see it.
Well, yeah, but also it always ends up being like an omen for bad things whenever it's on.
It's not an omen, it's a direct result. We'll get into that later. Well, no, let's get into it now. Every single time I've tried to watch Regarding Henry, I have had a major breakup. Mm-hmm. Every single time. Now, granted, that's only been twice, but that is enough.
And we're not allowed to watch it in the house because she's afraid I'm going to leave her.
I'm not allowed to watch it in the house. Any intent to watch Regarding Henry results in an immediate breakup. That day.
Oh my God.
I will not do it. I have very few superstitions. Mm-hmm. I am a little stitious.
I'm a lot stitious.
But this one is a superstitious.
Yes.
So I'm very stitious about this. Extremely stitious.
So
I will never watch that fucking film. And it could be the best film in the world.
It is such a good movie. It is a good movie. Yeah, but I understand the reasons.
Except I have a really good wife and I'd like to keep her. so I'm not going to watch it.
So I have been told that Natural Born Killers is an amazing movie. I don't see that because of my ex. So, I have a hard time with that movie and anything by Quentin Tarantino because of my ex.
If it helps, you can pronounce his name like he pronounces it at home as Quintinius
Tarantino's. Quintinius Tostinos. Tostados.
That's exactly how he does it, too. Tarantino's.
Don't sue us.
Well, I mean, that's how he pronounces it. Much like SpaghettiOs, it's Tarantino's.
Okay. So, this movie, we're going to get to the feelings in a minute, but...
Sure.
So, like we said, it's a gay couple who owns a drag club, and their son...
You want to run down the primaries?
Yes, I'm going to...
Sure.
Well, you kind of...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, you kind of did that in the...
I did, because this is taken from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So the Wikipedia summaries are different from the IMDb summaries.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why they're different, but in this one, it just named all of the actors without actually naming
the characters. Yeah.
And I have the list of characters and the actors' names with them, but it's really hard to read that and then transfer back over every time.
And Wikipedia, because the way it's written by the public, it's not always proofread.
Well, IMDb is also written by public.
Yeah, and they're not always proofread, and sometimes their sentences and my sentences, like the way I would write a sentence, which is within my comfort zone, and when I read another person's sentence, it kind of throws me off because I don't know what to expect, and so my reading skills drop immensely.
Okay, so you think we've covered the primaries.
Well, I mean, so we have Robin Williams, who plays Armand Goldman. Armand. Who, and we can discuss a little bit, too, about the character choices. So Robin was actually, Mike Nichols wanted him to play Albert. But because he had just done Mrs. Doubtfire, he was afraid it was going to come off as Mrs. Doubtfire. So he wanted to play the serious, the straight man. And really, Armand is the gayest straight man ever. And he did, honestly, to me, this is one of my favorite Robin Williams roles. And I loved him in Toys, which is not a popular Robin Williams movie. But
right. There's a reason why, but yes.
I know, but I do love that movie. I do. It's fine. It's got Joan Cusack in it, and it has
another Cusack.
Because we have an Ann Cusack in this one who plays literally her title is Woman in Van, a reporter in van.
Yeah, but I saw her outside the van, so that is also a misnomer.
I know. But yes, Toys also has LL Cool J. Which, my heart. So, I think we talked about him in the last one or something. I don't know. We talked about him recently.
No, we talked about it last night.
Oh, yeah, last night.
In the kitchen. It had nothing to do with anything. We talk about boys all the time.
Oh, stuff just rolls into each other. Okay, and then we have Nathan Lane. And Nathan was, originally he had auditioned for Mrs. Doubtfire as Robin Williams' brother. But Harvey Fierstein, I cannot say his name. He wanted the role so bad and kind of pushed for it. So right. Robin said, well, I want to work with Nathan Lane in my next movie. And this was it. So Nathan Lane he actually didn't want to do this at first because he is a theater person. If you don't know Nathan Lane, then where have you been for the past 20 years?
Producers. That's
30, 40 years. Yeah, he is amazing. And I have a little dedication to them both in a little while, for both Robin and Nathan. No, mostly to Nathan. But, and then we have Hank Azaria, who I feel is the true hero in this whole flick. Agador Spartacus.
He is definitely the foil to a lot of situations in this comedy.
He is the innocent little cinnamon roll that we don't deserve him.
So in like a children's play, you always have that kid that's the tree or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're only noticing the tree and not the primaries because it's stumbling around and it's acting a little bit crazy.
Yes.
So you're like, what is this tree going to do next?
Yes.
That's Hank in this film.
Yes.
Agador.
That
is him.
He actually had to go to his gay friends to decide which voice is the better voice because he had a deep voice, which is one he uses at one point. And then the higher voice that he uses all the time for Agador. And he's like, I think that's too gay. So he went to his friend, who is a gay man, and he's like, which one would you prefer? And which one do you think would work? And we got what we got.
And the body on him, I don't want to objectify
God, but Hank Azaria,
but Jesus,
hitting that bod.
I mean, wow.
Wow. So we have Gene Hackman.
Prime Hank.
Gene Hackman is Senator Keeley.
That's a shank of Hank.
A shank of Hank. I honestly, like I said, when we were watching it, I forgot how friggin' good looking Hank Azaria was as a young boy, as a wee tot.
He's good looking as an older man, too.
Oh, he's still good looking. Don't get me wrong.
It's
but
the hair.
Oh, he has nice hair.
He does.
And yeah. I love when he does.
And it's the eyes. He has very good eyes.
I love when he's doing his dance and he's like, I'm both Lucy and Desi. Love that. We have Gene Hackman as Senator Keeley. Okay, so this is why I'm to explain my introduction. We have a gay couple living over who run a drag show, and then we have this extremely conservative senator who is up for re-election, but I don't understand his relationship with Senator Jackson. Senator Jackson is he who shall not be in this film, but he dies. He dies in a controversial way.
Well, in a conservative's controversial way, which is dying.
It's pretty controversial. She was underage.
No, I mean, like, for conservative.
Oh, yeah, no.
They really hyped up the underage black prostitute.
And he's a married man. So, yeah. So, I mean, basically, he ticked off all the boxes.
There's a lot of racism implied in their disgust of his actions.
Yes. So, Senator Keeley is trying to dodge the controversy of Senator Jackson's death. Dan Futterman plays Val, who is Robin Williams' son. He had not Nathan. He had Val with Christine Baranski's character, Catherine Archer, when they were much younger and doing theater together. And she was his attempt at straightness. He had decided, I'm going to have sex with a woman, and he did, and she got pregnant, and he offered her money just to she didn't want, she was just starting her life and her career, and he offered her money, and she gave him the baby. And I don't think either one of them regret their choices at all.
Because I think it worked out well for everyone.
And I think Val is, a very well-rounded person. But I will get back to Val.
We have things to talk about.
Oh, Val.
Okay, so but we should mention that Gene Hackman, he died in February.
Yes, he did die in February.
It was very sad. His wife as well.
Mm-hmm. And their dog.
It's all very sad. By all accounts, he's a very good man. Mm-hmm. I try not to judge actors by the roles that they do.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think if you're going to say they're a good person, you should know who they are.
Well, as my clue from last week, one of the scenes with Gene Hackman in this movie in the beginning, when he's coming down the ladder and all of the reporters come up to him and he gives them a peace symbol, that was a throwback to... Let me look at my notes because I said something more to it than just that. He was actually on Nixon's enemies list. So the peace symbol, it's just like a throwback to a Richard Nixon move.
Right.
And it was just like a kind of like a thumbing his nose at the fact that he was on Richard Nixon's enemies list.
Right.
How cool are you to be on Richard Nixon's enemies list?
Yeah.
I want to be on Richard Nixon's enemies list.
Conversely, his character, Senator Kevin Keeley, is so ultra-conservative that he thinks Billy Graham is too liberal.
I know. I was like, are you smoking the crack pipe? No, he's not. That's the problem. He's too conservative. He has a candy addiction. So Diane Wiest, and no, we will not be having any Wiest infections up in this place today. Wiest plays, I love Diane Wiest. I know I'm just making a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference if you don't know.
Diane Wiest in this has really...
She goes from mousy to...
She was very mousy in almost every film I've ever seen her in, except this one. She is super vocal and
feisty.
Very like dominant in a lot of ways.
Have you ever seen The First Wives Club?
Yeah.
She's kind of feisty in that too.
Yeah, that's true. I think she's channeling that same kind of energy.
And honestly, she is somebody who I feel has gotten so much better looking with age.
She has. Because if you remember in Lost Boys, she looks kind of, I don't know, drawn. Mm-hmm. And you feel like, oh, maybe she's sick or something. She's still pretty. She's still beautiful. But you feel like, it's I don't want to body shame anyone, but she's very thin and drawn.
Yeah.
And you start wondering, well, is she not doing well? Or is that just the weight she was
It was
at the time?
It was, 80s or 90s. And,
But she really fleshed out here, and she looks really good here.
And then she looks
very healthy.
Also, as in other movies, even recently, I've seen pictures of her, and I think she looks fantastic for her age. I mean,
absolutely,
really great. And then we have Callista Flockhart, who plays Barbara, and now Barbara is a 18-year-old girl in college and wanting to get married for the first time, and Callista was actually 30 when she played the role, so. She's just got a baby face.
She's very tiny.
She's very tiny. She got a baby face. And she's married to Harrison Ford, bringing it back around to Regarding Henry.
Damn it.
Damn it. So, now, the thing about this movie is there's a lot. I have been involved in I have been involved peripherally in my own, hobby study in the drag world, not actually physically in the drag world.
You like watching Drag Race?
I love Drag Race. I love anything. I have seen documentaries about drag queens. I follow them. I mean, short of stalking them, I do. Because I love the art of the makeup. I love the costume. I love the transformation where you have to go, holy shit, how did you do that? It's magic. Drag queens are fucking magic. And then the world of drag kings came into my lexicon, which I had no idea was a thing. And that became like, holy crap, this is awesome. Women are getting a chance to do what men do. And
cis women,
yeah. And then there is drag syndrome, which are the Down syndrome drag queens. I freaking love them. And it's like the best of everything. So I have been, like I said, I know a lot about drag queens. I probably know more than any woman should ever know about drag queens who does not actually do drag. And what I appreciate is that Mike Nichols hired a documentarian to go and record and to study drag queens for months before this movie was even started to begin recording. And so that way the actors had something to study.
Okay.
So I went through the list and I did not recognize anybody on the list in the movie. But I think that's because if there is any drag queens in the movie, they're like in that group before I started, before television started really televising drag queens.
Or they're very local.
Or they're very local to the area. Or they weren't drag queens at all, but they were just really damn good actors and they had a very amazing makeup crew. Because there's a lot.
They had to be very good actors because they did not call that in like they did in Tu Wong Fu.
Yes and no. But one of in the very beginning when they're singing on stage, and they're lip syncing, that's just a drag queen thing. Nathan is singing, but most of the times drag queens, they lip sync. And there's one who, she looks amazing, but she has no makeup on. And I'm going, how did you get on that stage, girlfriend? And she's the black girl with the long straight hair.
Yeah,
and
I was going about that.
Girl, you ain't got no makeup on. Michelle Visage would tear your ass apart. She would be on your ass about what the fuck is going on with this. And again, love me some Michelle Visage. So, so there's that aspect of this movie. So I really kind of want to focus on the drag queens for a hot second.
But before we get to all of that,
I have a story about how I saw this movie the first time. But let me finish my drag queen rant and then I'll get to that. I promise. Because otherwise I bounce around too much and I probably confuse our audience. So,
It is a feelings podcast,
It
so
is,
let's
and I have
try
a
not to
lot-
focus too much on other things.
No, I just have a lot of feelings. So I just wanted to say that I am, and then a lot of times they use their real names and not their drag names in the credits. So if there is a drag queen that I did recognize, or I would have recognized, I feel bad that I did not acknowledge them because I did not know. I don't know all of their real names because to me, that's their personal life. That's their real life. And I don't want to know their real life unless they are open about it. When you get like your Adore Delano's, that she's very open about her life and she's also transgender. And so she has a very open dialogue about who she was and who she is and, you know, where she's going. But you have other drag queens that their persona on their social media is all they want you to know. And that's all I want to know. You know, I don't want to know what your life is outside unless that's something that you want to give me. It's different than when an actor, you know, has their life on their social media. If a drag queen does not have their life on their social media, then that's all they want you to know. So me recognizing real names, and I have a really bad memory, so I can't always remember everybody's names. I can tell you, I recognize drag queen faces sometimes, and I'm like, what is her name? And I should remember because they're usually puns. But and I appreciate a good pun. So my feelings towards this movie. I want you to tell me yours first.
I don't know when I first saw the Birdcage.
I think you saw it with me.
May have been.
I think it was about a year ago, actually.
It may have been. My feelings towards the Birdcage were always going to be contentious.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have always had a contentious relationship with drag queens in general. And this to me was a movie about drag queens because I had not watched the movie.
Yes.
And I'm being trans. I was very sensitive coming out to the idea that, you know, men are playing women and that trans women get mistaken or purposely thrust into the role of drag queen in order to, you know, misgender them or to make us feel less than we are. And then it took me a while to really unpack that issue. Mm-hmm. What I came to find out, just to shorten this up, because I'll get way too involved in it, is that I had to unpack the fact that I was actually being really, you know, anti-drag queen. But it's really about I was being transphobic in a way because I was not seeing them for the role that they were playing. Mm-hmm. I was seeing them for the gay men or whoever they might be playing a woman. Yeah. And I was very indignant about it. But the truth is they're actors. They're performers. They're on the stage to do a job. When I saw it that way, when I understood it in that way, that trans women, cis women, they can be on the stage and play drag. They can be drag kings. They can be drag queens. Mm-hmm. And when I started understanding that, which is only fairly recently, a couple of years ago.
I feel like you had a breakthrough when we were watching that show that RuPaul did where he had the little girl.
Yeah.
I think that's when you had your really understanding of the drag world.
Well, I'm not very smart, so it takes me a while to unpack things.
That's okay. That was a really good show, and I really hate the way it ended, and that they didn't get to go on to another season.
I don't remember what it was called.
I forget what it was called.
It was on Netflix, though, right?
Yes, and it was really good.
It was very good.
And Rue did a great job.
What makes me really feel for drag performers is that most oftentimes they're highly marginalized as individuals off the stage. Mm-hmm. They're poor, dirt poor
a lot of times,
many cases. So they're marginalized in many ways, either by race, by their location, or by their wealth. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that they fight against, and the stage is the one place they can shine.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one place they can step away from it, and it is a way for them to escape it sometimes. So I had to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
The Birdcage, however, has a dual hit on my senses. When we watched it the first time, all I focused on was the drag queen aspect. Because that's the part I was still trying to deal with.
Yes.
The other part, and we can talk about this now or we can talk about it later.
Probably, yeah, after I do my feelings, yeah.
Yeah. I had to unpack that as well. So I had to come to terms with all of that. Mm-hmm. And then when I was able to come to terms with that, I could actually sit back and watch the movie and enjoy it for what it was. You heard me in there. I was laughing constantly.
Because it's a funny movie.
Because it's funny and it can be uncomfortable in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that I had a lot of conflicted emotions about the Birdcage. On one hand, there's a lot of things that are respective of my experience. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of ways, it doesn't really fit anything of my experience at all.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, kind of eye-opening that the world exists.
No, and those are definitely, I know what you're going for, and there are definitely themes I want to hit on. But you asked me my feelings towards this movie. I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't really pay attention to I was in a really weird place at the time, and I really didn't, I knew it was a Robin Williams movie, but I didn't know much else about it. And my ex-mother-in-law wanted to take me to go see it. But if anything tells you how much it mattered to her of whether or not I went to go see this with her, we went to the $2 movie theater. Because we had that. Because, it wasn't worth the full price ticket. I was only worth the $2 ticket.
It was the matinee.
No, it was actually at night, but it was the $2 theater.
Oh, wow.
All movies, $2. So we went. And while I did not expect... my ex-mother-in-law was one of those people where gay and drag are cool if it's on TV and on the screen, just not in real life.
They're there for entertainment, not for in their lives.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I didn't... she watched Will and Grace, but then she would complain about how, we really don't need to have all this gay in our faces like that. So, she was just that person. And, and if I'd continued to expose my children to, gay things all the time, like I did, because I was just, open, that I was going to make my children gay. And
Jokes on them. They're all gay.
They're all gay.
Not all of them.
Some less than others, but they're all gay.
Not as gay as we like them to be.
No, but they're all gay in varying forms of gay.
Yeah.
So... 3 children.
I just like to say they're open.
They're very open. My children are very open. If I did anything right with them, it's that they are open-minded individuals.
We have 3 adult children who are open to possibilities, open to reality, and open to experience. Mm-hmm. And they're not closed off from the world. I kind of like that.
I think the only one who I think has any issues would be the oldest, and that's only because he hates anything that's not, he's a communist at heart. And
he's
even
more
then,
a socialist, I think.
Well, even then, he hates everybody. But that's not, has nothing to do with his
something
preferences.
He and I share.
Yes. So watching this movie again, I knew it was a Robin Williams movie, so I thought I was just going to be going in and watching a funny Robin Williams movie, and then here's the queens. And here's the gay. And I'm going, oh, my heart, this is such a good movie. And I was so awakened, not awakened, but that exists, that those families where there were 2 dads and they were happy and they raised this boy and they had a whole life. That was just, I didn't know that could be a thing. I was always told by people like my ex-mother-in-law that was a sin and that was horrible and you don't live that way. And then there was the woman in the theater. So have you ever met somebody who had a laugh that was so contagious you could not help but laugh?
Oh, yeah.
She thought everything was funny, to the point that we all were laughing. And I think I laughed more in that one viewing of The Birdcage than I've laughed any other time I have watched it, because she would lose her absolute shit every time anything slightly funny happened. Agador, Nathan Lane, anything that they would do, she was giggling and laughing so hard that you couldn't help but enjoy the shit out of it. So I have that amazingly fun, even if the human Dalek was sitting next to me the whole entire time. She ran on anger and static electricity, much like a Dalek. So even though she was sitting beside me the whole entire time, even she was laughing at that one, with that woman. And it was fun. It was funny.
Yeah.
So I have very strong, happy feelings about this movie. However, Val, I know...
Oh, we're going to talk about it now?
Yes. I think a lot of people believe that the antagonist in this movie is Senator Keeley, which I get that because he's very, very conservative. He says some racist shit throughout this whole entire movie. I mean, like, fucking racist shit. I mean, he calls Agador a brown savage. Right. I mean, he's fucking racist. But I don't think he is the true antagonist of this film.
No, because this film, I believe, is primarily about identity and acceptance. I think that is the thrust of this movie.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of different themes in this. There's a lot of things to unpack in this film.
Mm-hmm.
But on a personal level, that issue for identity and for acceptance is it hits a personal note for me.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when I first came out and we saw this, and I was feeling very vulnerable. I was afraid. When you come out, you have to be willing to lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
And not coming out means losing everything too, because not coming out often just means death. But coming out means you could lose everything and be alive. And that's kind of horrifying as well. I was always afraid if I came out, then our kids wouldn't love me. Or that you wouldn't love me anymore. Or that my parents wouldn't love me. Or that, your parents wouldn't love me.
Mm-hmm.
It was about losing all the people that I cared about that were central to my life. My friends. And I lost a lot. I lost a lot of family. I lost a lot of friends. So you have to be willing to lose people to be yourself, which is a kind of horrible thing. And in this movie, like, you can see that Armand loves his son so deeply on such a visceral level. It actually hurts you to see him.
Oh, God. Robin Williams, he looks at that boy like he is really his boy.
I know, he does.
Goddamn. I mean, losing him was a heartbreak.
When Val asks him to hide who he is.
Oh, God. It's horrifying.
Because his parents, he wants the senator and his wife to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Him and not Nathan, not Albert.
Yes. So the controversy of Senator Jackson dying with the young underage black prostitute has Senator Keeley on the run. And they decided that
he's reeling politically.
Yes.
Reeling, yes.
So they decide as a way to fix and maybe take people's minds off of that is to have a wedding. Because they already told Barbara, no, she can't get married because she's too young. But now they're like, okay, no, you can get married and this would be a great excuse to blah, blah, blah. So
Barbara's already lied to them and said that they're Grecian...
Greek attaché, whatever.
From the arts or something?
Yeah.
To do with the arts?
And so,
it's almost like we watched this movie before.
I know. And she also said that their name is Coleman, not Goldman, because Goldman is Jewish. So we've got the religious and the racial.
Anti-Semitic,
Yeah, so
racist, yes.
there's a lot of problems. But Senator Keeley does not ask Albert and Armand to change who they are. Nobody asks them to change their life or to change the people that they are or to be embarrassed or to hide who they are, except Val. And that is where my hang up with this. You said about, coming out, you lose something. Nathan Lane, when he did this movie, he wasn't out. And you look at the movie and you're going, how do people not know? But he was not out. And Robin Williams said that he would support him either way. And that if he didn't want to come out, he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that it did not get out, that he was gay. How good of a fucking friend are you? It just kills me. But
I didn't know Nathan wasn't out.
Not when he did.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So kind of that just went hand in hand with that. But knowing that Val is the one who tries to make them change, he says he's not embarrassed. But if you're not embarrassed, then why are you trying to get rid of Albert and to make Armand this straight man?
So Armand feels stung to his core because his son seems to be embarrassed of him.
Yeah, because he's like, are you embarrassed? And he's like, no, but...
It's like the but means everything. And I'm sorry, anytime someone you love is like, no but.
Yeah.
That but means yes.
Yeah, it's a big old but. So I will, and I've said this many, many times on this show, and I've said it many, many times in my life, I will give Val the benefit of the fact that he is 20 years old and his brain is not done developing. So his choices are based on emotion and not on logic. He's not thinking about how he's hurting his family. He's thinking about how he's protecting his relationship and trying to, because they all keep saying through the whole entire thing is it's just one night. It's just one night.
Yeah, I've got that noted. It's just one night.
It's not. Y'all getting married. You are stuck together throughout that marriage. The reality of marriage is, yes, no, I did not marry my in-laws, but they're still a part of the family.
You incorporate them into your life.
I got lucky the second time around and had amazing in-laws. This first time around, I did not. So, but you still are, yes, I can totally say, no, you don't marry your in-laws. You're not here for them. But at the same time, they are a part of it. They are factors.
It's a package deal.
And to a certain degree, yes. And especially when you're that young. When you're that young in a relationship, it's a lot, and you need your parents still, because again, you're still developing and they're both still in college. It wasn't going to be the last time they were all going to see each other. So what? They were supposed to pretend every single time? And that's what would have happened if they were able to pull this off completely. I'm glad they weren't able to.
So Armand is more of I wouldn't say conservative gay. He is more of a gay man. He's just a gay who you wouldn't know necessarily was gay unless you saw him in his element.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a gay man. Where like Nathan Lane, where Albert is a flamboyant gay man.
He is a flamboyant gay man who
is over
has no idea of how to tone it down and shouldn't have to.
No, but he does acknowledge that he's like, I know I'm a joke to you.
He's a drama queen.
He is a drama queen, but he does acknowledge it, and he does say that. He goes, I know I'm a lot.
Yeah, but Val asking, not only is Val asking his father Armand to tone it down and to change everything in their house because there's a lot of gay paraphernalia there. Mm-hmm. They're gay statues.
They're adults, too.
Statues with big dicks and stuff like that.
I mean, but they're gay adults and they can have whatever they want in their house.
But he's trying to hide he wants him to hide all of that. But his biggest sticking point is he doesn't want Albert there.
Yeah.
He wants to replace him with none other than the woman he hasn't seen since he was born.
His surrogate mom, because that's all she really is.
Right. Who agrees to come and be his mother, and that stings Albert to the core, who is his other father. Mm-hmm. And in some ways, because he does kind of personify his drag.
And his femininity, yes.
Femininity and stuff, he does see it as being his mother.
Yes.
And that is fine. It hurts. And I bleed for Albert.
Oh, God, yes.
All during the movie, despite all of the comical overtures, all those large emotions, there's a very deep bitterness there of being excluded and not being cared for. That the person that you've dumped all this love into, that you've put in all this emotion into, who you've treated just like your own.
And you could see how much he loves that boy.
Right. Val turns away from him. And you know that it may be sure it hurts Val. That's fine. But Albert's the one that has to carry that burden. And you don't love him because of who he is.
Oh, yeah. And you could see the frustration in Val whenever Albert leaves and Armand chases after him. That you can see he's frustrated with Armand for chasing after Albert. Then you are too immature to get married. You should not be getting married if you don't understand the relationship that Albert and Armand have, and that you are hurting the person that Armand loves.
And for me, we're going to kind of stick with Albert's, I guess, journey here. For me, it's that the one way he gains acceptance, not just by Val and Barbara and Armand in this instance, but even the conservative
the
in-laws,
Keeleys,
or soon-to-be in-laws, is to play his drag persona.
Which honestly...
To play a woman instead of playing himself.
But, if Val and them were so concerned about him being a part of that night and not being there, then they should have said, come as Starina.
Why wouldn't they have already thought of that? That's just crazy that they didn't.
Perfect.
And Albert, at the very start of when he starts playing Starina for them, he knocks it out of the park. He hits all the right notes. He has got that persona down.
So I have a little tiny bit of trivia. So when they were going to actually do this back in the 80s, but the scripts just kept flipping and they couldn't get the cast together. Frank Sinatra was supposed to play Armand. Think about that for a second. And,
wow.
And Dudley Moore, they wanted him to play Albert. Dudley didn't want to do it. So it kind of went back into kind of a spitfire throw. Frank Sinatra's name is Frank Albert Sinatra. Starina is an anagram of Sinatra.
Nice.
Yeah. Trust me, next, when we get to my clues, I have another anagram.
Great.
It's a night of anagrams.
So really, it's Albert wins the night, especially because he wins over the senator, even after he's found out. But it's also like...
He wins the night before the night even begins. He comes in and then pulls it out of his ass where he's been, what he's been doing, as mother, Mother Coleman.
Right.
And wins over Senator Keeley in 2.5 seconds. And at that moment, the night is won. He won. And, no matter what Armand or Val did or said, it would not have mattered until Albert came in dressed as Mother Coleman. Right,
but Albert wins having to wear a mask.
Unfortunately.
It's yet another mask that he has to wear. Because initially they didn't want him at all. Then it's, let's try you being straight.
And that did not work.
So that's another mask. And then this one, which is playing a woman, also a mask. Now, no one's forcing him to do this. He wanted to do it because he wanted to help Val.
Yes.
But to only be accepted as someone else and never accepted as yourself hit really hard on me the first time I saw this, with a lot of anger towards the drag portion of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Misplaced. But this time around, it still hit. But it was like I could be sad for Albert without pulling it into my own issues or my own fears.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been... I think I just don't pay attention to Val. And so this time around, watching it, I was getting angry with him. So at one point when Armand says... He calls up Catherine's business.
Right.
And he's like, just tell her not to worry about it. But she wasn't there, so he left a message. And Catherine didn't get the message, or she got the message, but she was double checking. And Val picks up the phone, and he's like, oh, no, that was a mistake. I still want you to come. That was a shitty move, because he knew that the reason why Armand told her not to come was because of Albert, because he knew it was upsetting Albert to have her in the house. It was upsetting to have the replacement. And then for her, he was already being told that he didn't fit in as a quote unquote man. And he wasn't going to be able to, he wasn't going to disappear. So it was shitty, him knowing that Armand was protecting Albert by telling her not to come. And he still told her to come anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he cloaks it in practicality, but it is emotionally cruel.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was what they were going for. I think they were trying to go with him being just young and not realizing.
And it's probably, again, underdeveloped brain. Yes.
But you're asking your parents to literally erase who they are. Mm-hmm. And those are the people that raised him, not this woman that he's making sure arrives. Mm-hmm. He is so afraid of other people finding out who his parents are that he is willing to go to someone who is a complete stranger.
Yes.
To him.
And honestly, Albert's not wrong. She has boundary issues, obviously, because even how Val was conceived was he said, I went into my dressing room and here's this naked girl. And I'm thinking, well, I might as well try it at least once. But it was still forced on him. Would he have had sex with her that night if she hadn't shown up naked?
Right.
No, probably not. So, once again, and then like when he's in her office and she's stroking his chest hair and she keeps moving his shirt around and he's like, watch out, like it's silk and be careful. And she keeps trying to touch his chest. She has major issues with boundaries and has no concept and is pushing his comfort zone. And that is what Albert walks in on. So he sees this woman who has no problem pushing herself onto the man he loves.
Right.
Why would he want that? Why would he want that in his house? And nothing against Catherine. I'm not trying to badmouth her. She knew what she wanted in life. She took what she wanted. I couldn't give up a baby, but you know what? She knew that that baby was going to be in good hands with Val. With Armand.
And she carried him.
So, I won't fault her that. Even she says, she goes, you should have, he's like, because she's got this huge company. It looks like it's like a health gym and whatever. I don't even know what the hell it was. But she's like, yeah, this is what your money, started. You should have got,
a piece of it.
Yeah. And he's like, but I got Val.
Yeah.
So he feels like he got the better end of the deal. So I don't.
Which is something that reflects later on when he gives the palimony paperwork to
Albert.
To Albert, that's a reflection of that. He doesn't care about the things. He cares about the people in his life.
Yep.
He loves Albert, and he's trying to get Albert to understand Albert's inability to grasp the importance that he has to the people in his life.
That is some trauma and insecurity.
Makes him feel very vulnerable. Again, I feel akin to him in many ways for that. Mm-hmm. His trauma is very much like my trauma in a lot of ways.
He's just more verbal about it, but I get that whole, everybody hates me. You all must hate me. I get that. I have that thought in my head many, many times. I have huge imposter syndrome, and I don't have the issues with dealing with the stress of being transgender. I have my own insecurities from childhood bullying and just even adult, verbal and mental abuse. So whenever, anytime something goes wrong, immediately everybody hates me. I screwed up. This is, it's horrible.
Right.
But he's verbal about it. Where I don't verbalize it. I don't throw myself on a bed.
Oh, he's a drama queen.
Throwing himself on the chaise lounge.
He is so much. I mean, it is is like a drama queen's drama queen.
He really is.
I mean, he's expounded on it so much that you're like, is this going to be all during the movie? Or the first time you see it? And I think this is a movie, The Birdcage is something you have to see several times.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think you're going to miss a lot of the nuance because Nathan Lane is larger than life in his character and in his presence. Mm-hmm. So you're going to keep missing these things because you miss Val a lot. Because you're looking at Robin Williams' Armand, who is somewhat stoic.
He's very subtle, but he's also very funny.
He's got this understated depth to him that makes you understand how good a father he was.
Yes.
That he has got these hidden depths that are just, when he looks at his son, it is with fathomless love.
Yes. And
he looks the same way at Albert, but Albert doesn't understand that. He thinks it's only for Val. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Val's got a blind spot. He's definitely got this blind spot. He doesn't see the love that Albert has for him.
Yes.
And I think he takes it for granted. Mm-hmm. And I think Armand comes to understand their relationship a lot better.
I do. Yeah, I agree.
But I think you never get a satisfying Val, not comeuppance, but like him learning something. Mm-hmm. You never get a satisfactory, sure, he steps up at the end, but it's just to pontificate that one thing. These are my parents. And that's it. Yeah. But he didn't go any deeper than that. And you're just like...
Yeah.
I kind of wanted more from that. And it bugs me because it's just that cishet privilege. Mm-hmm. You get to walk away from all of this at any time that you want.
And one would think that being raised in that, he would be a bit more empathetic to the situation.
But it could be that because he's raised in it, he takes it for granted.
Oh, that's totally true, too.
He takes the fact that all of these people here, I'm not talking about just his parents. We're talking about all of the drag queens that come and help. Mm-hmm. He just treats them like they're help. Mm-hmm. And these people don't owe him anything.
They owe him nothing.
They're there helping him because they love his family.
Oh, yeah.
And they love him. But he takes a lot of that for granted.
Oh, yeah. So when they're taking the stuff out of the apartment and trying to de-gay it or something.
What is this thing was like?
Don't add. Just subtract. Don't add. Well, they did. He's like, did you put Playboys in the bathroom? And he's like, isn't that what straight people read? And it's like, don't add. And I get that. That is funny, though. But then they get the moose head. Don't add.
Right. But they put a big crucifix.
And it's like, oh, geez. So, yeah, and that's the thing. So not only are they being told, okay, so you can't be gay, you can't be drag, and you can't be Jewish. And we've already got issues with the fact that Keeley obviously has a problem with black people and any person of color because he makes comments throughout about different people, And again, not Gene Hackman, Senator Kevin Keeley. And he's going for that extremely conservative, aspect of politics.
One of the things that Armand says in the movie, and it hits so powerfully, it is almost a throwaway line. Almost.
I know.
It took me 20 years to get here. That line it hits me every single time because for gay, lesbian, trans people, it doesn't matter. If you're in the LGBTQ, it takes you years to get here. Sometimes you're lucky enough you get to come out, or you feel powerful enough to come out when you're in your teens. Mm-hmm. But the fact that we have to come out when we're just people is ridiculous.
You shouldn't have to announce your...
We should have never been in the closet.
No.
But
I also, as a cis non-het person myself, I appreciate that line as well because, and this is something that kind of hit me the other day. I went to our daughter's work to bring her a coffee, and I got to meet one of her coworkers that she's friends with, and the coworker had made a comment about, being old at 50, and I said, well, because I don't think she realized that I'm 51, and I said, it really gets better. I said that, 30 was hard for me, but 50 really wasn't that difficult. And I said, it's because, and then even another conversation that I had with our daughter about things is it's taken me a long time to not hate me, and to not be uncomfortable with me, to not be so afraid to speak as me. And that's because of I was so shy, so insecure. I'm still an introvert, but that's just because I don't like to do anything. But it took me years. So I appreciate that line as well, is, taking 20 years to become you. If I knew 20, 30 years ago that I would be the person that I am right now, I would think you're a fucking liar. I would be, no, because I can't do that. I can't speak in front of people. I can't lead a group of people. I can't speak on a microphone. I did that with my ex when he had his pirate radio station, and it was me doing hi, little tiny things, because I couldn't do this. I couldn't have a conversation like this. I could have been,
right.
What do I talk about? I don't know anything. I'm stupid, because I had such insecurity. I get that. So it's not even just, it's a line that really should hit a lot of people.
Well, it's about identity. Mm-hmm. And that goes for anyone. It's not just gay people or trans people. It's for anyone. You develop your identity over years. And whether you're coming out or you're just being you, without having to come out, it takes you a lifetime of unpacking things, of separating what is fiction and what is other people's expectations versus who you should be.
Yeah.
And that line that it took me 20 years to get here resounded for me because of the things I've gone through, not just being trans, but also being autistic. Unmasking in both ways has taken me a process. But it's been my entire life. I knew I was trans. I only knew I was autistic about 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But I've always known I was trans. I've always known I was a girl since I was 5 years old. So it's taken me 50 years to get here. Mm-hmm. Well, almost 50.
Well, and me learning that I have ADD has actually helped also with me being accepting of who I am, because I thought that my behaviors were literally just me being, something was wrong with me. Yeah. Why am I like this? Why do people think that everything, why can't I keep things clean? Why can't I keep things organized? It's because I can't. Why can't I have a conversation without interrupting somebody? Because I can't. My brain is in a different direction. But knowing and also learning about what autism and ADD and all these different, when I was learning about psychology and brain chemistry and how our brains work and neurodivergencies, it makes so much sense. And so, that was part of my understanding and accepting. Yeah. So, I get that totally.
And so Armand saying that in very much a Robin Williams voice.
Oh, definitely.
That was Robin Williams talking there. I don't believe for a second that was him speaking in character.
No.
That Robin Williams saying it takes 20 years to get here was as powerful to me as Nathan's portrayal as Albert, showing me that in many ways he was having to learn what I had to learn. Mm-hmm. That people do love you and your ideas that you're not loved is based upon your own feelings. It's not something that's external. It's an internal trauma. It's an internal thing that you've developed over time, telling yourself you're not good enough, that you don't deserve love.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it many times during this film that you don't love me, you're going to leave me. That
very insecure.
abandonment issue is...
Who hurt him?
is very real, is something that I feel all the time.
Yeah, and so think about this too. He's been without... So Val is 20.
Yeah.
Okay? Armand says that, it took him 20 years to get where he is. Albert's been with Val since... Or with Armand since Val was a baby.
Right.
And he still feels this abandonment.
Right.
And this fear of abandonment. So, I love you, Albert, but you do need to go talk to somebody.
It is, and that is a thing. It is an unexamined trauma.
Oh, definitely.
Unexamined traumas remain traumas. I know what it is, and in my knowing what it is and having somewhat dealt with it, although the healthcare system being what it is, you get treated infrequently, or I get treated infrequently. But when you understand that about yourself and you start dissecting what it is that causes that,
oh, yeah,
it is easier to deal with because I can look at it more practically, more logically.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe not spin out like Albert does. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't do it that flamboyantly, but that's because that's Albert's response, not my response.
And if you notice, Albert, he's super serious, though, on that stage.
Yeah.
That's when his professionalism kicks in, and that's when he's performing, and that's when he gets to be everything that he loves about himself.
That's his control.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he actually feels he has control.
Yeah, when he's Starina. So I love that Albert also makes a lot of references to different plays and movies. So he makes a reference to Our Town when he makes I'm just a small town girl, from Grover's Corners.
Grover's Corners, yes.
And early on, he makes a reference about how Victoria Page is not going to perform the Red Shoes tonight. If you ever get a chance, and if you have your druthers, please go watch the 1948 film starring Moira Shearer as Victoria Page and the Red Shoes. It is a beautiful and painful love story, and it has ballet, and it is one of my favorites because, as you all know from the Hard Nut back in December, I love me some ballet. I never got to dance, but I have always loved ballet. Our two main leads are both Disney alumni. I really want to sing my favorite Timon song, but I don't want to get sued by Disney.
Yeah, let's not do that, because we've already had trouble with National Treasure.
Oh, my God.
I'm not even sure I can say that.
Yeah, because I love when they tell him, when they're in The Lion King, Timon, and he's like, what do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula? And then he goes, luau, and sings a song, and that is my favorite song. And me and my cousin, back in the day, would try to sing it faster, try to see who could out-sing it, even though at that point my cousin was much younger than me and I already had children. And Robin was Genie. But so what's funny in Aladdin, and what's funny is I think they forget that he's also in the remake of Flubber. He was the professor in Flubber. So, yeah, he's been all of the things said, Genie and Timon, but they forgot Flubber. I mean, granted, I was not a big fan of Flubber, but my kids had the VHS and we watched it too many times. So, yeah. I think maybe Robin wanted to forget that one too.
So I don't want to bypass the Keeleys. So Senator Keeley he starts out as a caricature of conservatism.
Yes.
He is the worst of the worst in many ways, and it continues being that way in many ways.
Yes.
But at the end, he's forced to confront his prejudices. He's forced to because he is so enamored of Starina and finds out that it's Albert. That she's not actually a she, she's a he.
Yes.
And he doesn't know how to reconcile that. And I think that kind of helps break that barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's just in like the fantasy of fiction. I think and something I found at my work, with people I deal with on a daily basis, is that once they get to know a trans person or a gay person, they start to see them as a person rather than the descriptive.
Well, that's when you're going to get the things. And so when I was doing my student teaching, the woman who was my lead teacher, I loved her, but I could have very few conversations with her that were not somehow dragging in religion, because that was her life. And she knew I was married to a woman, but she didn't know much beyond that. And one day, I don't even remember what the conversation was, but she said, love the sinner, not the sin. And I hated that. I'd heard it so many times before, but to have it directed at me for the first time in my life, I hated it. Hated it so much. Love the sinner, not the sin. So what you're saying is, you're giving me a pass because you know me, but you really still are against everything that I believe and everything I am. And hey, I don't believe in everything that you are, but that doesn't make you feel bad about it, And she made me feel bad about it. Like I was doing something wrong.
Well, because you didn't conform to her idea of how things should be.
Yeah.
Which is just a belief. It has nothing to do with your life.
Nope.
No one is asking people to be gay.
Nope.
No one's asking people to be trans.
Nope.
We just are. Mm-hmm. And you either deal with that or you're very upset about it. But we don't get upset at cis people for being cis.
No, but they do get really butthurt about us not being cis.
Or being straight or anything else. Yeah.
And they push the straightness. Because again, being on the cusp of who I am, I kind of swing like a pendulum do. But I, lived as a straight woman for many years. And even I was guilty of, oh, look at them playing together. They're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend one day. That's pushing an agenda. Yeah. I don't care what you want to say. And it's about the whole gay agenda. You know what my gay agenda is? Brunch on Thursday. That's my gay agenda.
Oh, my gay agenda is go to work and pay taxes. Yeah. And, do all the things
my
any
gay agenda
straight person would
is
do.
Make sure the chickens get watered and that I finally finish painting the things I wanted to paint. And the turkeys. And making sure that, I find a new job. That's my gay agenda. So, but, growing up with people who were like that, who pushed that straight lifestyle onto, they love to say that we are indoctrinating, or even like as a teacher, that teachers indoctrinate. Truth is not indoctrination.
No, it's just information.
Facts are not indoctrination. Facts, gay people exist. Facts, bisexual people exist. Transgender people exist. Guess what else exists? History. The truth of history exists. It exists in the same sense that a math problem. There are multiple ways to complete a math problem, but there's only one right answer.
Right.
Same thing with history. There's many ways of telling that story, but it happened. Changing what happened, that's not history. That's fiction.
Right.
So now I'm going to teach you about fiction, but then we're going to read fiction books and not history books. Okay? But guess what? Nothing I just said and done and have done is indoctrination, because I'm not forcing them to believe in anything I believe in. I'm just teaching them facts. I hate teaching about Christopher Columbus, to the point where I actually don't. If I have to teach about that time of the year, I do all explorers. I don't just do Christopher Columbus. We do Leif Erikson.
Right.
We do, what was his name? Americo Vespucci. We do any explorer I can think of. Marco Polo even,
Leif Erikson, he was in the Partridge Family.
Yes, he was. Leif, oh, Leif, oh, Leif Erikson. That stupid song again. So, Jim Fife. Back to Jim Fife. So he's not even in that video, I don't think.
I know.
But, so, I mean, that's not indoctrination. And yet, and I know I went off the rails here, but the conservative, and hey, if I'm offending people, then obviously you don't need to be listening to our podcast because we're not conservatives. And the conservative belief is that anything that comes out of our mouths who are non-conservatives, it's indoctrination. No, it's just fact.
I mean, we'll give fact. A lot of times I give opinion, but those things are facts.
Yes. And again, as an educator, opinion is not anywhere I need to be going.
So for me, this movie is, there's a lot going on, but a lot of it is the glitter and the chaos that kind of hides or kind of obscures. The true goal of this film is to explain the cost of assimilation, where in order to be the thing you need to be for someone else, you have to pay that price. And I think Val learned that he can't expect his parents to pay that price.
No. And what I love is that swinging door at the end of the fact that now, for them to get out of the building, they all have to dress in drag.
Right.
So now the Keeleys have to...
They have to
assimilate to
into
the lifestyle of...
Well, at least the drag...
for that moment.
The drag phenomena.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just in that moment even, but still, they have to get out. So...
It's just the absurdity of societal norms is that only one way is the way to be, and that has never been the case.
No.
People have always, and even pointing out the Greekness of it all. Okay? If you just want to talk about the Greeks, I mean, they were wearing togas. You're going to tell me that they didn't do something crazy? It's a bunch of naked men.
Well, they did. They had their...
I mean...
They're catamites, and they had boys that
the Olympics.
Oh, God.
So, when we're talking about, it was funny because they kept saying the Greek family, and I'm like, but that's kind of a nod to the gayness of it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that
I mean, being Greek isn't inherently gay.
No. I did date a Greek boy.
But contextually, in this movie, yes.
When I was 16, my boyfriend was Greek, and do you think my two racist uncles didn't hit him with every disgusting Greek joke on the planet? Yes, they did. It was embarrassing. We're 16.
Yeah.
A
little weird.
Yeah, way to make me feel like I'm,
A little weird to do that.
Drama.
So, where do you feel this movie will be on the Castellini test?
Okay. Well, it's going to be in trouble for female cast.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. No. I'm sorry. I take that back. Take that back. It's going to pass. It's going to pass.
I was really hoping that you would say the other thing so I could make fun of you.
It's gonna pass.
Okay, so the Castellini test. Let's take a look at it. Let me pull up my handy-dandy
notebook
thingy. There have to be at least 2 named women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue
and
each.
there are 3. And it is Louise Keeley, it is Barbara Keeley, and it is Catherine Archer.
Correct. They all have substantial dialogue.
Yes, they do.
Those characters must have a conversation, not necessarily with the other woman, either not about their partner or with their partner, future or current, and not about their relationship.
Well, yes. So at the dinner party, they don't really address the relationship other than they're getting married. But they don't really ever really discuss Val and Barbara's relationship. Now, Catherine and Armand do talk about their past relationship. I think Armand and Albert talk about their relationship more than anybody else in the whole entire movie.
Sure. But it is a little murky here, mainly because most of Barbara's conversations are about the engagement to Val.
Yes, but that's one of 3.
Right. I think that Louise and Catherine, when they're speaking, sure.
Yes.
You
And
know,
I mean,
we can say they speak about the dinner and the situation.
yeah.
But it's not necessarily about the relationship.
Yeah. And yeah.
So we can say that passes, even though maybe not well defined, but it does pass.
Yes.
All right. So at least one of the women has to be integral to the plot, meaning that if she were written out of the film, it could not reach the same ending.
Barbara, because without Barbara, he wouldn't have proposed, and then none of this would have happened. If Woody had gone to the police, none of this would have happened.
I mean, sure, I guess. I was going to say Louise Keeley.
How so? Like, I mean, if she's not there, I don't think it would mean too much. I mean, she did instigate having the wedding.
Nope, at the end. Towards the end.
Oh, and she has her...
When she diffuses the issues with Kevin about Albert.
Oh, yeah, no, when they're in the bedroom and she's by herself with him.
At that moment, she turned the tide of the film because Kevin would not have had anything to do with this. He would have left.
He would have left.
He would have left. He would not have ever seen this family again. Mm-hmm. She turned that around at that moment, right before the door. That is when she became a pivotal character. She has been ancillary,
True,
quiet in many of the areas. She was loud in a few places, but not heard. In this moment, Louise stepped up and diffused what would have been a complete undoing.
True.
I think. That is my belief.
And again, though, if Barbara didn't exist, then Val would not have proposed, and then he wouldn't have come home and made his family miserable for like a few days.
Sure. So I think there's maybe some minor role play that was going to define that plot. Mm-hmm. So without those...
And if Catherine wasn't in the movie, there'd be no Val, and without Val, there'd be no point in as well.
Well, also, Catherine arriving
would not have come to that conclusion. They would have continued on with the farce
for
at least another few hours.
It never would have been that honesty at the end.
Yeah.
That was needed. It would have always been trying to play into the deception.
Yeah, and how long was Albert going to have to do it?
It wasn't going to. And it would have ended horribly for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this passes the Castellini test.
I think so, too.
So, there's so much to talk about this film.
I know.
And I think we could keep going for a really long time on this, but I don't want to keep harping on it. Because what I think you should do is you should maybe get a bottle of white wine.
Because red has tannins.
Right. Sit down, maybe have a cigarette, watch this movie.
Make some sweet and sour peasant soup.
Right. Don't wear any shoes.
No, because they just make you fall.
And you should really just watch this movie in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
And try to see everything. Try not to focus on one thing too much because you're going to miss a lot of things. You know, it's important that when you're seeing these types of movies where there's so many currents going through, that you stock up on gum. You really have to chew a lot of gum because it helps you think.
And then don't forget, you want to put some feeling into your emotions too. So you want to do a little bit of Fosse and some Twyla, little Martha Graham, and don't forget to dance like Madonna. Vogue.
Exactly.
So if you do want to follow all of those instructions and watch The Birdcage, you can watch it for free on Tubi and Amazon Prime. Oh, I'm sorry, not Amazon Prime, on Pluto TV. So Tubi and Pluto TV for free. You can watch it on Amazon Prime and YouTube TV with a subscription. And you can watch it on Fandango at Home, Apple TV, YouTube, and Google Play from anywhere from $2.99 to $5.99. This was a weird one, yo.
It was everywhere.
It was.
So, thank you for stepping onto the stage and taking direction. Try to be human, people. Just try for some humanity. Try to reach out with some empathy towards everyone around you. Try to find joy, because it's hard to find it right now. Try to find hope. Mine that hope where you can. Find it in others. Maybe show some hope for others. And give yourselves some grace. This has been Once More with Feelings with Beth and Michelle. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at OMWFPod. Visit our page at oncemorewithfeelings.podbean.com. Or send us an email at omwfpod@gmail.com. Take a moment to subscribe and rate us on iTunes or the YouTubes or wherever you listen to this podcast.
Okay, so our 2 clues for next week. They both pertain to the same person. So even though this actor broke out in a rash from the makeup and his knees hurt despite using pads, this person said the role was totally worth it. And the second clue is that one character played by the director, because this person plays multiple roles, is the director's name in anagram.
Okay.
Yep. So chew on that one for a minute. Let's see if you figure it out, because, yeah.
And remember, there are no straight maids in South Beach.
Yes, I wear foundation. Yes, I live with a man. Yes, I'm a middle-aged fag. But I know who I am, Val. Took me 20 years to get here, and I'm not gonna let some idiot senator destroy that. Fuck the senator. I don't give a damn what he thinks.